Welcome back. We are here with the O'Neill Knight. Why you need to take this. See if there's elements that we can add to your business. My name is Ryan, Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with stage their business to grow their so we're going to be expanding DK and he was on last week, part of hospice brand. So again, Tim, it's always the business lunch. I know people are taking their break, but still learning. We typically like to learn a bit more about you. So I don't know if people caught it, but I wanted to go through some eating in or eating out.
I've done so long for so long. And
Or they own.
I'm more productive right after that. Boom.
And would you say you're more interested in remote work or do you prefer in person?
Currently, after the COVID, doing here, and then like the next. Usually, when I have to travel, it's harder to do high on the road.
Makes sense.
I'm totally Apple.
I'm seeing everyone know. Do you know Toronto GTA?
Well, Alwyn is my go-to. Alwyn. They are now east, I think, on Lawrence, but Alwyn's is yeah.
You recommended them. It's delicious. So now, how you really shifted the way I think, how you got into helping companies really start to franchise.
Well, like I've done every 1986 as working for. I worked as a busboy, dishwasher, worked my way right up in every position I could say until I was director of operations at Palais Royale. And all the restaurants, a lot of them got before they turned into recipe. Jeans bought another restaurant, all their locations and turned them into milestones, and then across Canada. So it's been a few decades when I've been involved in the larger companies taking
and of companies purchasing and merging with other restaurants to take them under their in the Black community. I'm curious, start a franchise or start a business, a restaurant with that could potentially be sold or absorbed. I don't know if that's on be bought at the beginning.
Is that going into the hospitality industry? We're going into it looking for a job, more or less. So we buy ourselves a job. We're stuck in this box for running it 24 hours a day. Our minds are never off. Looking at it as skill. You know, take unity. Flow was take it from the beginning. We had to be convinced to actually let, and that's why we get caught behind.
Let go, but it's more like, so it served its purpose, and now, but we get really comfortable with just that baby really well, but we don't. There should be even there's 3. I know Black restaurants or entities that have more than 10 locations.
But they don't own the actual. So I know a lot of those type of people that are great business people themselves. So there's no reason why we can't do the exact same thing ourselves. We can't go into entrepreneur and maybe have 5 or 6 or 7 of them. So we need to actually Executive Powerup is finding those businesses that we can so sometimes entrepreneurs have to get out of not actual the idea might not be the best, and they actually run someone else's idea and still make money from it.
Right, that has like systems and franchises at a really high level. I'm sure you've seen your fair share of restaurants and businesses that just explode and grow, and not many. So I'm curious, and I really appreciate you to share your learnings. You've mentioned to me that you want to be. What are we missing? Make success more probable because certain systems are in place.
Well, I mean, there's an obvious one, and in our community, generational wealth from before, having that grandparent millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to start off, given to them from their grandma and grandpa. What's happening is we're still behind. So generational business. That's my other uncle, it's like this.
Entrepreneurs, because ACBN, we run a grant info session to say what funding is out there, and I bring up loans and they're like, I am totally against debt, don't talk to me about loans, totally not interested. I'm curious your perspective on be leverage and maybe what we're missing was grow.
So who could wake up, who go to bed at night and could sleep and oh so much. Use the bank loans as a tool. They are getting bank loans to scale and use it as a tool. So loans are bad. We just are not ready for the bank loan, and we don't. We go. You pay it back. It's just, ever given that opportunity before, that generational wealth? This person is money anyway. Some more money or her some more money. We don't have that. Or they say, oh, that black person. Black people, and how many are getting that? So I would say that we're still not at the point where we understand that or can use a bank loan as a tool. We look at it to get out of a situation, and more than not, it doesn't work that way.
And that's what I hear is typically you get the call where money, the rent, a big order. So it's usually reactionary to it is more debt can be used as a tool and escape from bad.
Just to finish your thoughts there, somebody sometimes, someone who's offering you $200,000, turn it down is probably better. So, grassroots and selling again, reinvest it. It's better that you can sleep. Money is good. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to really think about it. And I think because we are in trouble and not realizing that we're just digging our stand and we're ready to take a loan on, but not understand.
Well, and that if they're stuck in survival mode, like you said, the loan tool to use to grow. To work alongside you to learn. Take it. Like, what should us as entrepreneurs be able to work with Tim to now? Okay.
Not. So this is associations now are got to think about it. years because I and does that business turn into working for you to having like 20 people working for you? And that's so to me, it's like they're not ready yet until the cash some of that debt they have, and they won't get rid of debt because they're understand there's there
Yes.
because they're as they should be getting, but they don't need a setup to help them. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
how do we now come back and help us?
Well, and that's where I was really happy to work with you more closely because as an organization, we get funding and resources to create programs, and you start to realize why Black businesses aren't growing, alleviated in the programming that we've created. So we really have to take a step back and analyze what we're doing and saying that we're supposed to accomplish. But when you don't have that expertise, like I don't know, for example, Moxie's expand multiple locations and have that experience to know what scaling looks like from beginning to end. You know, growing in the trenches to see it done. And so now because of that expertise doesn't exist, actual educators out of the bubble. So have you thought of ways that we can start getting more of the Black entrepreneurs, with, you know, like lender
Already doing the ecosystem and one. I mean, like myself, I'm looking for people who are doing the I've had and family members in the last 5 years that made me look at my when it comes to business. You could be chasing leave this earth. What have you left? Here, but I'm getting calls every day from people that don't look like us, that have richer. So someone like me, to turn that so, I don't want to knock anybody because I want to be in a community help. And BOF has a food grant for I think it was $130,000 for 10. Or sorry,
yeah, 10,000 each.
Yeah. Okay, that's great, but $30,000. Take one of the restaurants, look at them, really good, ready to scale, rather than doing a $30,000, build the other location. And we're building more money from that we could build a system to stand while bringing in income. How the 13 people, restaurants, help them scale their business today.
And if
where guys outside of the bubble look and say, well, there's a negative return on interest you can stop whatever.
Well, and that that is really interesting, and I want to sit with it for a bit because I'm hoping people are listening to observe how we approach the issues that if we're the same.
Correct.
And so the journey of Ryan, you're talking about 10 vision, but I don't know if I'm 2 or 3 following in a need you're able to be using to.
Interesting because with now it could be franchise where now you can have people name and use the whatever you set up in your systems and standards, you know what I mean, protocol to use that. So while you're ready to explode, you just need training. Killing nights, you gotta to be on the same page for like training. Other training would it'd be chemical training, you know what I mean, for so to
For
learn about the
yeah,
chemicals,
the
but you don't
supplies that we use.
Helps of training, making sure that everyone's on the same page. That's why we have the digital transformation that we're doing right now with art and tech and setting up detail nights. I think for you, it's not going to be hard. I think now I'm exposed to this now.
A lot with the students that are in our program is what you have to get through to get. And again, there was anxiety of how learning zone. I'm learning so much from you. So before you go, I want to ask you, what would be the homework you would give to myself, and I'm hoping others will take it too, that I can start working on over the next 7 days? Like, what could I do this week that if I checked in with you next week, I'd be on the right track? What could I start doing?
Well, this is hard because I'm looking at ACBN, sorry, executive director at ACBN, and also for a for-profit organization.
And please, hey, give me both.
Look at and see how much percentage of wherever you're receiving it from, how much did it actually bring back? NPOs that, nonprofit organizations, it should be zero at the end of the year. Majority of the nonprofits out there that's not Black, profit from for-profit companies.
Yes.
And every time left over, or at least they know next year because initiatives back in to put it back into the company. If not, take. And I know
Makes
sometimes it's
sense.
hard because the mandate was set.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 10 years down the road, just doing the exact same thing. Just say, you're ready for 3, you could do 20 for it. Let's just go for it. Let's put it out there. It's just let open the field. You know what I mean? Say, I'm ready to go. I have this detail. Put together a package, which we're talking about, you know what I mean, and have that.
I'm ready, so I'm gonna jump in. Inspire me to get more people.
Thanks, everyone. Right. Cheers.
Nuggets so that this week we are gonna get to start to work. What action was actually taken? Join us on this journey that will help us. And I'll tease, it's also who the founder is. Talk about how the company grow. So thank you for eating oxtail around town. Speak on the business lunch.